In which case, Arenoss is going to inevitably come in as the silvery radiant sparkles are fading away. I won't take 10 on this one. I'll actually go ahead and roll.
Wow.
Let's see. That would basically take me to like a Conjuration Zone or Ritual level 26.
Yeah. Saloro studying the scene and also, catching a glimpse of some of the papers and, stuff on research on the table. Saloro, starts to sort of piece together a more clear understanding of what might have happened here. The box on the ground, etc. Saloro would guess that, given all things he has discovered in the house, indeed, Vorl Foxglove tried to become a lich. But it seems that something interrupted the ritual at the sort of most important and crucial moment. That when, the precise point when Vorl had drunk the vile potion he had concocted to, turn his body into death, and then being transferred into his phylactery, because the phylactery lies smashed on the ground. Saloro would guess that someone intervened in that precise moment to destroy his phylactery before it became enchanted, and thus likely created a horrific backlash of necromantic energy. Saloro would guess that this has fused Vorl Foxglove to this very spot on the wall, and that his spirit still lingers here, and quite possibly has spread and basically infected the whole house. To Saloro's mind, the house itself could now be Vorl's phylactery.
And, someone wanting to become a lich, he isn't just a mild-mannered, meek individual who gets a bunch of herbs and spices together. That's a pretty serious investiture.
Yes, it is one of the most dark and horrific things you can do.
Saloro is going to begin the slow process of explaining this, primarily to himself, but since Arenoss is there, he ends up hearing it as well, with sort of like the ultimate summing of the fact that, it is no wonder you were unable to damage the house with fire, and why I was barely able to do anything with my thunder beyond destroying a plush manticore. This is beyond our means to break away. Vorl Foxglove was... The only reason I can fathom why he is not a lich is because someone had interfered at the last moment, smashing his phylactery, but even then he was still so powerful, Arenoss, that his spirit transfixed itself into, essentially, and he gestures with the ever-burning torch, like a sweeping motion, at the massive amount of mold. Right there. I don't think we could even begin to dismiss this. This is beyond us.
Well, we should be glad that someone intervened at least. Otherwise we would have had a much bigger problem that we wouldn't have been able to handle.
He shakes his head. Vorl Foxglove was far before us. It was before your time. Only Erevan would have been alive then, and... Saloro shrugs. As for me, I would have been somewhere else. To that extent, perhaps the spirit lingering on the third floor would have something to say about that. I imagine that someone within Vorl's family intervened.
So, is there any way we can purify this place, or is it just impossible?
Saloro would, with that kind of arcana check, Saloro would know that it might be possible to sanctify or exorcise the place, but it is no small undertaking to do so. You're basically fighting a lich in spirit form.
Saloro places the orb within its box and returns it to his robe. I cannot estimate how long of a time it would take, or whether it would actually be successful. A lich is by no means a simple creature. It far exceeds the power of anything we have faced thus far, with the exception of Malfeshnakor itself. I have, even with the combined knowledge and power of everyone within Sandpoint, I would rage that I would have to go to Magnamar itself and bring this to the attention of the learned individuals there.
Do you think such a thing would be necessary?
Well, this spirit of Vorel is unrepentantly and undeniably evil. It is possible that it had an influence on corrupting Alden, a descendant, to the state we found him in, and I imagine if given more access, it could corrupt others as well. I will spend some time here, perhaps, maybe in so much as a week. I might end up handling the situation as I did with Thistletop. I'm going to need to return to Sandpoint, consult with Sable Sword, maybe Father Xantus as well, Headmaster Ilsoarius, and even Brodot Quink. I'm going to need access to all the research, place down some wards to try to fend off undead. It's going to be a time-consuming process, but I think even exercising this is beyond my means.
Do you think staying here is actually a good idea?
Well, we've killed all of its servants. The spirit is incapable of creating itself unless it was able to manifest itself as what we saw within Alden, that horrific clawed creature with the blade. It should be safe enough. Obviously, it will serve as a beacon of some kind for undead, but we've proven to handle that quite adequately. It will be fine for now.
Alright. Are you sure you won't get, corrupted by the evil spirit here by staying here for a longer period?
He shrugs, looks at Arenoss. Nothing is a certainty.
I'm just saying it's not a very good idea to stay here alone. Maybe we should all stay here if you need time.
Furrows his brows. That can be done, certainly. I'm not one to control your actions. I can send little messengers to spread some information about our deeds here, and we can continue to look about the rest of this place. Regardless, I am going to need to return to Sandpoint, perhaps tomorrow, the day after. I'm going to need their help there.
Yes, alright. Well, we should maybe talk to the others about this as well.
Saloro nods. You're better, I think, at getting the point across than I am.
Alright. And Arenoss will head out.
Saloro is just left, holding the torch in his left hand, just giving a scowl at the necromantic moss and the table at the same time.
Right.
So Arenoss tries to gather everyone here and basically tells them what Saloro told him.
Come on, Roldar.
Roldar will walk over to the edge, sort of just, do his sort of swift climb down and then just walk over.
So yeah, he tried to turn himself into a lich, and Saloro says he needs time to study this, and we may need to go to Magnamar in order to find someone who can purify this place.
Well, let Saloro take as much time as he needs, as long as they stay away from,
Roldar points over at the vaguely purple-ish mold.
What do you mean? Oh, I see. Yeah, of course.
Well, Saloro, like normal, is free to conduct whatever kind of research he wishes.
I suggest, however, not living here alone. We don't know the exact power of this place, and it might affect him if he stays here for a longer period.
That is a valid point.
Call out from the back. I endured the will of Malfeshnikor the Devourer. I think I can handle this.
We didn't stay there for a very long time. We don't know what this place holds. Should be on the safe side.
Alvyn isn't even listening to the conversation. He's just muttering something about payment and compensation and other terms in that area.
All of the blowjobs. All of them.
Yes.
What?
All of them.
And
Well,
scones, as far as
Paid
I
in
can see.
blowjobs, yeah. Paid in blowjobs and scones, yeah.
That's a good payment. I mean, considering there are worse payments.
Saloro does also have a point, the fact that he did spend some time at Fizzletop around Nefeshtakor, so
Of course. I'm just saying we should be...
Nefeshtakor is far more powerful than whatever was here.
Calls from the back room. That is certainly a correct statement. For Malfeshnikor had to be bound within a ritual circle. And this creature is grasping to whatever shreds of reality it can. Because I imagine that the fate it will receive, if its soul does pass, will not be a pleasant one.
Well, my point is that Malfeshnikor was bound, and his evil presence or corruption might not have been able to spread from there.
I'll put it this way. Saloro, do you wish someone to stay?
To walk back around, because this is apparently a serious conversation. Peeks his head around, says, if someone wishes to stay, he shrugs. I think I'll be here for a day, maybe two, before riding to Sandpoint. I'm going to send messengers regardless. For the information, I need to get in contact with those who know in Sandpoint, as small as it is, and research some more about this. This is definitely beyond my means to deal with, at least alone.
Well,
Maybe other goblin parties or roving bands out there. Certainly, the rest of the people are going to need help. I don't think just because we came here, they're all dead. Regardless of whether we like it or not, these people are not trained to be like us. They're farmers, they're nailsmiths, they're weavers, we barely survived.
yes, but they evacuated to Sandpoint, remember? And I don't think the goblins will attack Sandpoint anytime soon.
Of course not the goblins, but the ghouls.
Ah, yes.
We don't know how many there are out there. We don't know the extent of the damage that was wreaked in the hinterlands. It may be possible we'll have to head to Magnamar anyway.
Yes. We can't know as long as we stay here. That's certainly true.
So in that case, I think it for the best that you four return to Sandpoint. Preferably as soon as you can. It perhaps may be unwise to rest. I will have my overseer to watch over me while I rest. He smiles at this.
Very well, Saloro. Be careful.
Indeed. As should you.
Danger is at every corner.
As for the spirit on the third floor, he shrugs, that may end up being the individual who destroyed the phylactery at the last moment, and her own spirit is kept from moving on, courtesy of Voral's sort of spite. He shrugs. I am not sure whether we could kill her even if we wanted to, and her spirit might move on naturally if I find a way to deal with the unfortunate Lich.
Yes, she did
Do
say that she was bound to the house. Or to the room, I'm not quite sure which.
Well, she said she was locked to the house, which at the time I thought was then locked in, but it's very possible she's bound, more correctly.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it's best not to. If she's staying there, then I see no reason to purposely go in there and looking for a fight.
No.
So, Saloro, we'll be taking our leave. We expect to see you back at Sandpoint relatively soon, but you don't need to rush.
Watch the marshes. The goblins may be emboldened if you choose to head through there again. You won't have me to guide you.
Understood. Everyone just looks really tired.
Roldar's like, whatever, I'm super tall, I'm climbing up this, fuck you. Now make sure not to make too many waypoints, or you can break the map. I've had it happen before. Well, you get to roll again, Griff. Huh.
It's a very slow climb.
I mean, you can take 10 on it, so yeah. Eventually you
If
get
Saloro is still at the door, Roldar will kind of give a sort of just kind of like a mini salute just to him.
it. Saloro
as he
will
leaves.
wave. And then
Right.
Saloro will rotate, look down at the fallen man, and go, yeah, I did that. Point the ever-burning torch. You see that? Saloro Soreasu.
Are you taunting the corpse?
I am, and if it reanimates, I guess I'll just have to smack it down. Next session, Zombie Saloro. He can use radiant powers. What? But how? My God. The same way an evil cleric can cure light wounds.
Jonas.
Jonas? Maybe he's been muted this entire time.
Hello. Yes, I've been listening. I'm here.
Right.
As I said I would much earlier, all those pieces of paper like by the body that was like, all about me and stuff. As I
Yes.
said I would, I'm burning all of them
Okay. You can certainly do that.
in a blaze of fire.
Right.
I can help you.
I guess it'd be faster than a flint and steel.
Yeah. Just put them in a pile and yeah.
So
I think I'd want to do it by my own hands. So you feel free to help once it's already lit.
All right.
So yeah, this will be the end of this session.
Yep.
And the next session will be the last session for the summer fun.
Sad.
And that would be a summer of sadness.
Summer of sadness. No, as I said before, summer is over and I need to go back to do serious things that I can't escape from. So next session will be the last of the summer fun. It will be a bit of a wrap-up session, a bit of an epilogue. Probably won't run, as long as this one did. But it will be, as I said, a session for wrap-ups, some, final talks with the different characters you have faced so far, and
Arenoss and Amico.
something like that.
We'll see.
Going through, the final things you found here at the laboratory, and maybe a sneak peek where the story might go next. When the Summer Fun 2, the Summerer, comes around, or we go with the Winter of Discontent or whatever other stupid name we should end up calling it. We'll see.
Their discontent sounds nice. And
then. Yeah, we'll see basically. But the next one, as I said, it's going to be a bit shorter. It's going to be a bit of an epilogue episode where also we as players can discuss what we have been through. together.
All right.
Well, you're not a player. You can't discuss what we've been through.
Oh, I can comment on the things you've done though. It's
Yes,
like,
you can comment.
like, oh, that was.
Hey, the DM is playing as well. He's been through quite a bit on his own.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
It was adventuring through your notes. That was a sure.
Well, I am a long time, DM, so I would understand. Certainly.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. You certainly have put in a lot of detail into this.
Oh, thanks.
With the map and yeah.
I will discuss the maps if you wish, but I will do so in the next session. We can discuss the maps and the layouts and basically the thoughts of the whole ordeal, as it were.
All the purple.
Possible ways for you not to spontaneously combust everything.
Okay. So when is next session picking up then?
Next session will be picking up when the party returns to Sandpoint a couple of days.
With Saloro or without him?
Well, it depends on how long Saloro decides to stay here. I'm thinking the next session will pick up roughly 2 to 3 days from now.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be it.
And we
So
are
just,
level 12, correct?
Sorry?
And we are level 12. Correct?
No, but you do level up at the end of this.
Ooh.
Sweet, level 7.
We gained an entire level's worth of experience points? We're just... Interesting. Okay.
But that guy was tough. I mean, Grimith, come on, this guy was tough.
I mean,
Definitely worth the level.
I guess we didn't get any experience points after last session, so...
No, you didn't. So I'm
That's true.
bundling it together.
Great. I'll have my twist of space just for the epilogue. Hooray.
Excellent. So yeah, that's it for this session, folks.
Alright. I'll write down a few things, I suppose.
Lovely.
Unfortunately, I wish I could stay in chat, but technically I'm going to have an interesting day at work tomorrow.
Lovely.
Technically.
How
Right.
interesting.
You're leaving!
Well, technically I'm not leaving yet. I've only got a provisional job offer,
Right.
dependent on my criminal record, which is getting checked.
Oof.
And yeah, it's called a disclosure. Every
know.
job you go for, you need one.
I do the same with
and-
teacher. I need to do the same.
My employment history needs to get checked, so I've got that to wait for, and I can't really say anything until afterwards. So,
Is that why
Yep.
it's interesting?
but I've done all the hard work.
Alright. And as for me, I'm perfectly cool with riding off into the sunset with all the fucking 20s I rolled.
Woo! Yeah, that was the perfect thing. Like last boss, literally, was created by Saloro. Somehow fitting.
So,
I had a lot of crits as well, but
how the
my
hell...
hits were all crits for some reason.
I have built myself to do practically no damage, guys. Come on.
And you end up being the one finishing the boss.
And you
Just roll
continually
so well.
get the killing blow on the things.
I personally think I've built up quite a good tank by accident.
By accident?
By accident purpose? I don't know, Griff. I mean, you've combined together all these invigorating things, and he definitely survives a while.
Yeah.
As he should. It's his thing.
Well, he was pretty close to not surviving this time.
I mean,
But he did.
He still has 5 of his 12 healing surges left, which, he had the amulet that allowed him to use 2 at once. That was good.
He did have the problem of the fact that there was no way we could have... I guess one of you might have had a potion, but we had very little way to heal him if he did go down.
Yeah, I didn't have another potion.
Can you throw the server back up long enough? I was in the process of trying to save my token.
Oh, sorry.
Just
Hang
for the process of... so I can update it to level
Yeah,
7.
I need to do the same thing. I don't know what
Yeah.
version I've got.
Oh yeah. Damn it.
Hang on.
It's a good thing I reminded all you damn people. Like, oh my god!
All right, server's up again.
Oh, reconnecting!
But for the first few levels, it was pretty much just luck, and then after that, I decided to start asking. And Grimith's been quite a good hand with it, and I've been talking to DDS about cat builds as well. So I've started investing a lot of time, especially because now I actually have the proper books to look through. That was a challenge as well, because I didn't really know what books were what. So now I actually have them. I can actually read through them.
Right.
Where's my 4E folder?
So certainly. But I mean, with the martial power stuff, and once I figured
God.
out, once I figured out that invigorating was what you're after, I'm like, graphic. Like that. Your Dauntless Endurance, I mean, the thing that allowed you to, like, re-roll a saving throw was pretty sweet. You actually were able to make use out of that. And then he dazed you again.
Yeah, I still had it.
Yeah, you definitely
it was a thing.
It existed.
It happened. But it's a reaction one. It's a triggered opportunity one. So I mean, it doesn't take an action, so to say.
Yeah.
It's basically as I make my saving roll, if I don't like it, I can re-roll, which is a case of like, why would I re-roll a success?
But in the case,
I don't. The way it's
funsies.
worded, it's like what?
yeah. But before we go off, then, since so many people are tired, I just say, since if we're going to actually talk about and reflect the summer fun next week, then you guys, and along with myself, should take the time this week to think about things we want to talk about. Maybe even write them down. Whole sort of things. Things we liked, things we didn't like, things we thought were awesome, favorite moments, least favorite moments, shit like that. Because it all matters.
It does. And it makes it all better, It makes the memories better and gives everyone a good send-off, basically.
Yeah, not going to spoil anything now because I do actually have quite a few ideas of what to say.
Lovely.
Especially for it, because I think it'll be quite a good idea to just have a reaction and reflection thing. That sounds quite good.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic.
Bye, Europeans.
Yeah, looking forward to next week, guys. See you then.
See you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, folks. That's the end of Chapter 11. Of which I was very much awake for, because it was Labor Day today. And still is. So I suppose, next time, the end of the Summer of Fun. I'll see you all later. Oh, you like my Daggerfall remix music, by the way? It's not mine. It's certainly a thing, though. Take care.